I go for refuge and turn my light into the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and turn my light into the Buddha, the Dhamma. Accumulations and practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and turn my light into the Buddha, the Dhamma. May I become a Buddha. Sanye Jula Zogi Janamna Chanju Badu Dani Yas Dagi Jinsu Yebe Sonamje Dola Benjir Sanje Dubara Ju Sanje Juda Zogi Chanju Badu Dani Yasu Che Dagi Jinsu Yebe Sonamje Dola Benjir Sanje Dubara Ju Sanje Chanju Bardu Dani Gyapso Che Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Dola Benjir Sanje Dubare Sho Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Te Sham Dathagato Yavatat Te Sham Chayo Niro Shamdatagato Yavatat Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha Om He Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Jayo Niroda All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, let's turn to page 4 from where we left. We are done with the stanza 7. Now verse number 8. Verse number 8 and 9, these two are the views of opponents. Opponents meaning that the here is the view of Arya Nagarjuna. What we are discussing is Arya Nagarjuna's philosophy of emptiness of objective existence. And say within Buddhism, the Buddha taught, of course, we come to know that there are 4 Buddhist schools: Vaibhashika, Sautrantrika, Chittamatra, and Madhyamaka. 4 schools are there, and they differ in the subtlety in terms of understanding the ultimate reality. They differ; they're not the same. And particularly, I would say Chittamatra. Chittamatra meaning mind only. Mind only is the one who, like what Kunal's asking, who advocates that mind exists truly, and the rest what is seen as external, they are deceptive. Only the mind exists truly. Mind is solely there, and that mind is the self. This is what the Chittamatra school says. And then the highest Buddhist school, represented by Arya Nagarjuna, they reject this. And in fact, the Buddha, right from the beginning, and he, after becoming enlightened, he remained silent for 49 days. Buddha remained silent for 49 days, not giving any teaching, even after becoming enlightened. And the reason why this was so was that the verse which we read in the mornings, that that the ultimate reality, that the path that he has discovered, which means emptiness, objective existence, or of course the most sophisticated things, say even the mind that is like the agent, the subject which knows everything, which feels sad, which feels happy. This mind, this is something which we never discover. We only look outside. Happiness outside, suffering outside, blame this, blame that, all right outside. We don't get to see what is this subjective mind is like. Whereas if you turn towards the mind itself to see what this mind like, then this mind, and of course individually we see that some of us, we have our own some very profound experiences with, say for example, when you go with people who are into music, when they hear the sophisticated music, you go into, we have goosebumps in the body, and mind is just taken somewhere in like an extremely subtle plane of reality. Likewise, people who appreciate nature, people who appreciate paintings, we see that your mind can go to a very different level of the reality, very sophisticated. So mind has so many things the treasures to really look and to explore within. There's so many treasures inside. When our mind is so directed outside, we don't see that. When you actually see that, the external movie is just nothing. So this is what mind is. Mind is a tremendous capacity, and because of which the say Chidamatra thinks that this mind is the self. And within Madhyamaka we say that again, some of them who posit that yes, this mind, the mental consciousness, that is the self. And then finally Prasangika would say that no, as long as you have some degree of adherence to an object, whether it's mind, external object, whatever, the moment there's something to grasp on, that itself is the self-grasping ignorance. Where there's this ignorance, then the miseries will follow. So therefore, in fact, the reality is that there's nothing to be hold on to as objective real, while everything exists. Including the mind, it exists, and if you just explore the mind, there's a real miracle there. Miracle can be seen with the experience of the mind, the true luminosity of the mind, how the mind is so luminous. Whatever we're experiencing here, the sadness, beautiful green leaves there, and beautiful, amazing experiences, they're all nothing but the radiance of one's own mind. And if you explore what this mind is, there's so many things to explore, amazingly great treasure there. So yes, this one's are the amazing things. Then this mind can do magic, but of course, for these we need the separate training. So with this in mind, the question is that because of this, the Buddha, seeing that this ultimate reality, emptiness, objective existence, is something so difficult to digest, and that if you tend to believe in one side, then again there's somewhere we look for something to hold on, to grab onto, to say that this something exists objectively. So because it is so difficult to let go of, the Buddha taught the four schools, Vaibhashika, Sautrantika, Chidamatra, Madhyamaka, in order to climb the steps to get to the higher and higher and higher level of the realization. So with this in mind, for the Vaibhashika, the Buddha taught that where you have let's say for example, I'm a male, I'm a female, I'm third gender, whatever you may call it, or you may say that I am, and let's say that I'm a compassionate, I'm not compassionate, I'm intelligent, I'm not intelligent, whatever you may call it. So it's all related to your body and the mind, also known as the five aggregates. With the five aggregates, the Buddha taught that as long as at one point In fact, the Buddha taught teaching, he gave teachings on different levels. One point, the Buddha taught, what is nirvana? Nirvana is when these aggregates, because of which we tend to believe in a sense of self. Say, because of this, the human body, I say that I'm a human being. And because of your mind, you say that, okay, I'm kind, I'm not kind. I'm compassionate, I'm the knowledgeable, I'm not knowledgeable. Whatever is all related to your body and the mind. And because of which, where the aggregates are there, a sense of self will come. When the sense of self has come, then self-grasping ignorance comes in existence. So therefore, we have to let go of these five aggregates. The five aggregates must be demolished. At one point, this is what the Buddha taught, that if the five aggregates are not, in other words, your body and the mind, if these are not discarded, then you will always will have a sense of self. With a sense of self, this will bind you in samsara. This is very sophisticated teaching, but then it may not reflect the true intention of the Buddha. And this is so because of which during the time of the Buddha and some philosophical systems for them, and what is nirvana? Nirvana is where the sense of self dissolves. How should this sense of self be dissolved? By your aggregates. Terminate the aggregates. Body and mind, terminate the five aggregates completely. You terminate the aggregates. So, the Arya Nagarjuna is now, say, the having a dialogue, discussion, or debate with this tradition, who believe, of course, the Buddha taught the nirvana on various levels to suit the temperament and the inclination of the individual. The disciples, the Buddha taught different teachings, one of which is, and this is a very prominent teaching. Okay, let's see. Verse number 8. Things cease due to utter destruction. Due to utter destruction, meaning your miseries will cease. Verse number 8. Your things, this is the opponent's view. Things or your miseries, your samsara ceases due to utter destruction, due to utter discontinuation. Destruction here is discontinuation of the aggregates. So better translation would be discontinuation, utter discontinuation. Yes, utter discontinuation of aggregates, but not due to understanding their conditioned nature. Okay, this morning what we said is the opponent is saying, what we said this morning is that we experience the true nature of the conditioned phenomena. Conditioned nature, meaning the composite like yourself, you know the true nature. What's the true nature of yourself? Hey, what's the true nature of yourself? Emptiness of objective reality of the self. So when you see that true nature of the reality, the emptiness of objective existence of the self, that is the ultimate reality. So be in this experience of the emptiness, then what happens? That all your mental stress and everything subsides, because the self dissolves in that experience. Whatever in the ultimate analysis, whatever you bring, miseries, stress, anxiety, they all dissolve, right? They all dissolve. So it's the experience for emptiness. This experience of emptiness is the wisdom. So Arya Nagarjuna is saying that you experience this wisdom, a stable experience of wisdom, in which all your miseries dissolve. That is nirvana. Whereas the opponent says, no, this is not sufficient. The second man says, but not due to understanding the conditioned nature. And the understanding their conditioned nature, meaning understanding the true nature of the conditioned things. True nature of conditioned things. So, in other words, the opponents, they reject Arya Nagarjuna's view and saying that you have to experience nirvana, you have to terminate the aggregates. Things cease, means samsara ceases due to utter discontinuation of the aggregates, by eliminating the aggregates completely, not by experiencing the emptiness where you are, not by subjecting the samsara to ultimate analysis, and the samsara dissolves. This is not how it should be understood. This is the opponent's view. Then according to this is one of the very prominent the position, the belief of nirvana, the one sect of Buddhism, saying that the holding to the self, that must be gone rid of. So where you hold something as a self, I, then that is the grasping. Where there's grasping, you are never freed. So you have to get rid of the sense of self. How to get rid of the sense of self? The basis for sense of self is the five aggregates. Remove the five aggregates. How to remove them? Terminate. Right? So they say that the nirvana, there are two nirvanas. One is the nirvana with residue and the nirvana without residue. This is the of course the Arya Nagarjuna also believe in this, accept this, but then their understanding of the nirvana with residue, with nirvana without residue is very radical. Nirvana with residue meaning that you attain your afflictions are removed. Your afflictions removed, still you have the aggregates, because of which this is not a complete nirvana. The complete nirvana is when you die. When you die, so mind does not really hold on to the self to take birth to the next life. In other words, the birth is severed. No more birth now. Because there's no more birth, so your aggregates, whatever you have in this life, will be the last. And then you die, finish, you disappear like a rainbow in the air. So this is what they say. So, now Arya Nagarjuna is saying that, okay, let's say, if I'm the one who said therefore to attain nirvana, nirvana with residue is the partial nirvana. Real nirvana is nirvana without residue. When do you attain the nirvana without residue? Hey. Yes. When you die. When you die, then what happens? All your aggregates will stop, and you will not have a new aggregate. You will not have a new aggregate. So, in other words, birth stops. Birth in samsara stops, which means there's nothing. Now what moves from one life to the next life? Your mind moves from but for them, once you attain the nirvana with residue, then you die, your mind stops, your mind disappears. Finish. The body is left behind. Body you leave behind. You burn, you cremate, buried, whatever, and the mind will annihilate, disappear, like the rainbow in the air, it disappears. So this is their system. In other words, when you attain the nirvana without residue, there's no trace left. There's no trace left. That is nirvana, according to them. It's quite radical. But if you feel that, okay, how many of you feel that, no, that's nice? Sense? If Shida, you feel nice? That's nice, or you like that concept? Yes. Okay, anyone else? Or you say, no, this is not very good. To disappear, this is nothing. Okay. Yes. So the point is that but whereas if we feel that, oh, then I disappear, then what's the point? Right? So there are two things. If I disappear, then who will take care of all the sentient beings? That's a different story. That is amazing in comparison. Otherwise, if I disappear, then what? Then what's the point of practicing all these things? Then I will disappear. I should not disappear. You're holding to the self is still there. You're getting it. This amazing, in a way, this amazing concept. Holding to self, that is a self-grasping ignorance. So, okay, now let's read. Now Arya Nagarjuna is saying that for you, if nirvana is to be attained where your body and mind terminates, where the self disappears, dissolves in the air. Then when you get the nirvana without residue, who attains it? Right? Who attains it? There's no one who attains the nirvana. If there's no attainer, then the attained doesn't make any sense. You getting it? Here, let's see. The things cease due to utter discontinuation aggregates, but not due to understanding the conditioned nature. Then Arya Nagarjuna is saying, to whom will this be evident? So when you reach that level, nirvana without residue, then who attains this? Who will know that you have attained this nirvana without residue? So there should be somebody that, okay, I'm the one who attained the nirvana without residue. Who's that? Because you disappeared, the person disappeared. And the cessation, what is it? How can destruction be possible? Destruction meaning the cessation. The cessation of your, in other words, cessation, which is nirvana. If the person who attains nirvana is not there, then what's nirvana? Nirvana means something who attains is a fruit. Fruit attained by the person. If the person is not there, then the fruit makes no sense. Right? So, how can the destruction be possible? The next, number 9, if grasping, if this grasping is put in the bracket, what is in bracket is the addition by the translator, verse number 9. So this one, even without this, we can do that. If aggregates do not cease, okay, now opponents are again saying, if the aggregates do not cease, even if afflictions are extend, one will not transcend. They say that, okay, say the nirvana with residue. Nirvana with residue is what? Your afflictions gone. Your contaminant karmas finished. So now you have the aggregates. And then when you die, you will leave this body. So what they're saying is that if aggregates do not cease, if you still have the aggregates, the aggregates meaning 5 senses, 5 aggregates. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I must note it down, what you are saying. 5 aggregates are 5 senses. Okay, then what else? 5 elements. What else? 5 senses, elements, then what are the 5 aggregates? Body, mind, only 2. I'm asking for 5. What are the 5? Yes. Yes. Formation, yes. Then 3. Okay, good. Okay. Anna. Okay. So translation differs, but Anna said is perfect. And here, thank you. And where is that coming from? The 5 senses and the 5 elements? Okay, so let's say the translations can differ, but okay, Anna, number 1 is the form, aggregated form, number 1. Then Anna is using the translation sensation. Sensation is not a good translation. Better is feeling. Sensation not good translation. And why I'm saying this is that I see that there are many books where the feeling is translated as sensation. It's not a good translation. You're getting it? Because sensation is a connotation of the physical senses, physical sensation. Here, there's number 2. Since the feeling is not only physical, it's also mental. It incorporates both. So better would be feeling. Then number 3 is, some people translate it as perception. It's not a perception. It's a very wrong translation. I see this translated in many books. It's not a perception. It's a discrimination. Perception is a very passive state. Discrimination is a very active state. These two are very different. So therefore the thing is that translators have a huge responsibility. They, number one, they should have good knowledge of the information. Then they should have good command of the two languages, target language and the source language. You should have both the command. So therefore, the number three, many people translate it as perception, and this is seen even in very good books, unfortunately. So this is a wrong translation. It's a very weak translation. I would say it's not wrong. It's a weak translation. It should be discrimination. Then the next one is, some translators mental formation. Mental formation, better would be compositional factors. Compositional factors, mental formation, it's not too literal, it's being too liberal in translation. Better is the compositional factors. And then finally, consciousness. Okay, now let's see what they are. Aggregator form, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness. Okay, now the five senses. Zola, tell me, what are the five aggregates? Okay, let's make sure that even the order, we make sure that the order they are properly there, because these tell us how familiar you are with the concepts. Number one, form. Aggregator form, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness. Yes. Okay, five elements. What are they? Not five elements become the name of the person. Okay, it's not the aggregates. Five elements. Tell me, what are the five aggregates? Hey, you are not the five elements. Five elements are two persons before you. Who said what are five aggregates? Somebody said five elements. That the person's name is five elements. And okay, now five elements. Tell me, what are the five aggregates? Aggregate form. Okay. So Ajala has this in Tibetan. Good. Form, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness. Okay, good. So if you want to, how to remember them in an easy way, as the Tsongkhapa said. Yes, Tsongkhapa, your name. As Tsongkhapa said, first, what you do is that you split the self into two, the body and the mind. Deconstruct the self into body and the mind. That's easy, right? You can remember that? I have a body, of a mind. You can remember that? Good. Body, aggregator form. Then the mind, again you split this into two. The mind in general and the specific mental functions. Easy to remember? Mind in general and the specific mental functions. Two. Specific mental factors, let's say. Specific mental factors. Two. Mind in general, we call it aggregate of consciousness. So now how many aggregates done? So usually for these, the people who are new, they are better because their mind is so pure. Okay, Kunal, tell me. So we have the body and the mind. So for easy, to remember easily, the five aggregates. But we first see the self in the form of body and the mind. So body is the aggregative form. Then the mind, we split this into again two. Mind in general and the specific functions of mind referred to as mental factors. So mind in general is known as aggregate of consciousness. Two. Now what is left? Specific mental factors are left. Within the specific mental factors, how many specific mental factors are there? How many mental functions are there? Huh? 5. Okay, anyone else? How many mental functions are there? Okay, I'll give you some clue. Let's say that the some people they are, say, they're good at, do you agree with me? There are some people very good in language, but not so good in physics. What's the difference? Because their mind functions so well with the language, doesn't function so well with the physics. And some people, they are so good in mathematics, but not in physics. Can you imagine that? There's a little more nuanced. Because the physics require creativity. Mathematics does not require too much creativity because it's more mechanical. Then you do this, just follow, then you get the answer. And if you're good at it, you can give the answer very quickly. But physics require creativity. So some can be very good in physics, may not be good in mathematics. Some good in mathematics, not good in physics. And some are very good in the physics, but in meditation they're hopeless. The moment they meditate, they fall asleep. You agree? And some people are so good at meditation, wow, like this. With physics, hopeless. Right? Why? The mind functions very differently. And some people, they look at these texts and wow, it's amazing, amazing reasoning in compassion. In practical comes compassion zero. Some. You getting it? Some people practically, they're so compassionate. The moment they hold the books, they fall asleep. Right? Again, we see there. So how many such mental functions are there? Infinite number of such mental functions they are there. Of these, the Buddha at one point picked up 51 mental factors, 51 of these functions which are so relevant to your spiritual growth. 51. Of the 51, there are two mental factors which are extremely important for us. One is the one is the mental factor to feel the different feelings like pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. That is known as the mental factor of feeling. That is so important. You know why it's so important? Because of this mental factor, or in other words, all your functions, all your activities, all your movements are related to this mental factor of feeling. You getting it? Okay.
The sensation, feeling, and this feeling.
Okay. I said sensation is not a good the translation. Sensation purely physical. So the feeling is the one which, I'm here to explain, it incorporates physical as well as mental. Pleasant, unpleasant, neutral feeling. You got it? Good. And so what I'm saying is that of the different mental factors, feeling plays an extremely important role to decide all our movements, all our actions. Okay. For example, right? Somebody sitting like this, right? With the what? With the leaning against pillow, right? Leaning against a pillow, and the two legs like this. Why? With this gives the most comfortable feeling. So that makes the person to sit like this. And some people, they don't come for the morning practice because they feel comfortable in the bed. Right? Some people, they come, right? Oh, I don't want to get up, but going there, I'll get some benefit, right? So seeing the prospective benefit, pleasant feeling comes. That pleasant feeling outshines the pleasant feeling of being in the bed. So therefore, that feeling drove you to this hall at, today's what is 7? Yesterday it was quarter to 6, right? And then they say, so in other words, all actions are determined by your feelings, right? So your feeling plays a very important role. Say for example, some children, some children, they hear the word compassion. They hear the word compassion. Instantly, a very pleasant feeling comes, right? And then to see that, say, the chicken on the plate, small children, they're not taught compassion at all, particularly in some places where compassion is unheard of. Compassion towards animals are to be eaten. Even in those places, small children, they see the chicken there, they're so unhappy. Unpleasant feeling. Why is unpleasant feeling? Because of this chicken. Why they eat this? Because the chicken, somebody has to die. Why should we create pain on this poor chicken? Right? So feel the pain to see that somebody went through pain. So when the father's about to cut the chicken, right, live chicken, then the child would snatch the knife. Nobody taught the child that you should be compassionate with the chicken. Yet this feeling is coming in the child. To see that the chicken is freed, pleasant feeling comes. Chicken is cut, unpleasant feeling comes. You're getting it? So therefore this makes the child doesn't want this unpleasant feeling to see that the chicken is going to be cut. So therefore he's fighting with the father to snatch the knife and free the chicken. This is compassion. Whereas you see the table with the chicken legs there and your mouth waters. Very sad. Right? Very sad. So if this is the case, then we should think of these small children born in some places. We should remember them, and then we should feel sharp. What's in this word? We should feel embarrassed. Look at this child. He did not learn. She did not learn compassion. But look at the compassion demonstrated. I learned compassion, and this is what I'm doing. Right? My natural reaction. But don't feel hateful of yourself. Don't hate yourself. Okay, I need to transform. Okay? Take steps. Not necessarily that tomorrow you have to become the vegetarian completely. Take steps to go in this direction. And little girl, it's amazing. I don't know, she must be in the West. Little girl, age I think 4 or 5. She would hardly talk. You must have seen that in a clip. Saying that the child was telling the mother, I think, that I'm not going to eat meat. And the mother said, why? Because these are beautiful animals. Why should we cut the animals? And she's crying. And then the mother said, what about fish? You eat fish. And she's not aware. She doesn't know whether fish is animal or not. So she said, is fish animal? And the mother said, yes. Right? Then she said, no, I'll not eat it. Right? It's amazing. And they said, what will you eat then? Then she said, I'll eat anything that you give me besides the meat, besides the animals. Wow, that's amazing. These are the qualities of the inbuilt compassion which the person practiced from the former lives. Without this, it's not possible in this life, particularly in the environment, in the family, where compassion towards animals is unheard of, right? Where they see pigs to be killed, chicken to be killed, fish to be killed, right? This is the culture. This is what you see in the whole village, the place. And yet the child demonstrates such a compassion. That is amazing. Okay, feeling, right? Okay, so all our actions are determined by the feeling. So therefore, in the morning, particularly say I didn't mention this morning, but when was that the more detailed practice? Yesterday, 2 days before. Yesterday I did mention this to you, that this teaching of compassion and the wisdom of emptiness. So this, in the future lifetimes, we see how to be connected with this teaching. For this, we include them in the practice. Next, once you feel connected with this teaching, and then not only you feel connected, that you rigorously engage in this practice. For that, what should we be doing? I said something. Anybody who remembers that? Not only that we feel connected with the Dharma, when not only that we feel connected with the teaching on compassion, the wisdom of emptiness, but once connected, you rigorously engage in this practice to make it happen. What should be done? Yes, Sherry Pema, that's amazing. Tell me. Yes, say connect the feeling of joy with this practice. Kind of feeling of joy. So even I even asked this question to you, that say in your life, did you ever get any experience where you smell something and instantly it retrieves your past memories? Smell or taste, right? Okay, so then the say if it's related to your childhood, particularly very memorable the moments during the childhood, then these can bring tears to your eyes. You're getting this smell, even the song, even somebody, how they talk, even the games which are now redundant, which are not being played anymore. Say somebody plays it, and then you see it instantly, it will connect you back to your childhood. So then this game and your childhood memories, these two are linked. The smell and the childhood memory, these two are linked. So likewise, the smell and the joy of you being with your mother were linked. With this, inside the smell, the joy, the memory of your joy, and that experience with the mother simply comes to light. So this is how we connect. We connect the teachings with the feeling of joy, pleasant feeling. Then next life, right? Bodhicitta, instantly you feel like you are at home. And compassion, like these small boys and girls. Instantly you feel like at home, right? This is the worship. And then I see that there are many from the Nalanda studies. They told me directly that how come that I come in contact with this brilliant, this tradition late in my life, because they feel so joyous to be with this practice. So these people, in the future lifetimes, when you connect with the tradition once more, you will just feel at home. Okay, so the feeling decides. Feeling decides, and the all our actions. Feeling so for feeling what? Pleasant or unpleasant feeling. Unpleasant feelings will make you to become aggressive. Pleasant feelings will make you to become compassionate. You're getting it? But it can work the other way also. Think of stealing something, pleasant feeling comes. Think of stealing something, pleasant feeling comes, that can make you to engage in stealing. You're getting it? So likewise, all forms, all nasty things happen nowadays in the world. Like all this cheating, everything happens. So this is all related to the pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, cheating, pleasant feeling, then you cheat, right? Cheating, unpleasant feeling comes, you will not cheat, right? All these are determined by the feelings. So, therefore, the feeling is one important mental factor, which is extremely important, we should take care of. With the virtuous things, let the pleasant feeling come. With non-virtuous things, let the unpleasant feeling come. You're getting it? That will stop us from engaging in the non-virtuous actions. Okay. Now there's another the mental factor which is so important. So now how many mental factors, how many aggregates done, Kunal? Aggregate form is done. Aggregate consciousness is done. Then aggregate feeling. Because feeling is one very important mental factor that is counted as a separate the aggregate feeling. Now there's another aggregate which is extremely important we need to take care of. That is the aggregate of discrimination. Discrimination, this word, there's ambiguity there. There's ambiguity there in terms of the meaning. Discrimination can be very, very negative, right? There's this gender discrimination, the what? Caste discrimination, and so forth. So this is negative, but here, discrimination here is very neutral in that sense. Neutral. It simply means that, This is a rosary. This is a flower. We are in Japan. The ability to know things. Ability to know things. This is discrimination. Ability to distinguish things. Ability to distinguish things. Discriminated things. Distinguish things. Okay. This is a very important mental factor that decides the quality of what you are doing. The discrimination, the sharpness of the discrimination decides the quality of what you're doing. For example, let's say physicists, there are so many thousands of physicists, but Albert Einstein, he's only one. Why Albert Einstein is only one? Why he is, they say the scene, you hear him all the time, whenever there's a physics conference, why? Why not the other physicists? Why not? Why? Because his understanding of physics, the discrimination to understand physics is so sharp and so nuanced and so sharp that other people cannot really see that. Because of that, he remains as outstanding physicist. Because of the sharpness of the discrimination pertaining to the area of physics. Say, with chemistry, Madame Curie as a chemist, right? Why again she became a Nobel laureate? There are so many female chemists, not only female, even the male chemists are also there, but Nobel laureate, I think maybe she's the first Nobel laureate in chemist, I'm not too sure. Right? So whatever is the case, the point is that why is she? And then anything like music, Mozart, you're getting it? Just a little boy, age 4, age 5, he started to compose the music. So how come that he has that ability? And then later on, as you grew older, and his composition is very different from others' composition, right? There's a stark contrast there, quality difference there. What gave him such a quality to his music is because of the discrimination, extremely sharp discrimination pertaining to the music. So likewise, for example, Lee Kuan Yew, right? Lee Kuan Yew, the first Prime Minister of Singapore, right? He's amazing. When he talks, we can see the weight of what he's talking, right? And I would say that, wow, that's amazing. He's amazing. So, all these qualities, they become outstanding of these the people, the genius, child prodigies, is because of the sharpness of the discrimination that they're endowed with pertain to the particular the area. Okay, good. So discrimination plays a very important role, and if we want to be, for example, the painting, sculpture, say if I do painting and Leonardo da Vinci does a painting, and most of the people today, right, they look at the two paintings, they may pick up my painting. This is more beautiful. But those people who have the eyes to see that there's no comparison between the two, right? Just don't even bring this painting close by the painting of Leonardo da Vinci. There's no comparison there. You're getting it? So why that his painting is so respected by the people who have the eyes to see the nuanced painting? Because his painting is painted by somebody who has an extremely nuanced discrimination with respect to the painting and sculpture, right? Okay, so this is so important for even to become enlightened. Bodhisattvas, Gade, Para, Gade, Bodhisattvas on the different levels. So it's two Bodhisattvas, both on path of Para, Gade, path of seeing. Both of them sit together, we can see that again there's a difference. One can be more sharp than the other. For example, like His Holiness. His Holiness's thinking is extremely refined, you won't believe, extremely refined, versus anyone else. We think that, just put them together, you see that there's a stark contrast in the thinking, openness. openness, compassion, intelligence, seeing the far away, globally, is so unique of His Holiness. So these require the sharpness of the discrimination. So if you really want to go into the Gade, Para, Samade, Bodhisoha, what should we be doing? We should be sharpening the mental factor of discrimination pertaining to your emptiness and bodhicitta. You getting it? So this will make your practice very outstandingly different. Which is good. So now we have the 5 aggregates. Okay, now Kunal, tell me what are the 5 aggregates? Kunal. Aggregate of form, aggregate of feeling, aggregate of consciousness, aggregate of discrimination, aggregate of composite factors. So look, two of us, who seems to be more elder? He seems to be more elder. He gives me only the words. I give the complete, right? Aggregate form. He gives me only form. I say aggregate of form. Right? He's my teacher. Okay, Kunal, tell me what the 5 aggregates. Aggregate of form, feeling, aggregate of discrimination, aggregate of composite fact. Okay, what is missing, right? Consciousness then? Okay, could not got only 4, and we thought they could not go 5. Okay, you got only 4. 4 or 5. You got 5. Tell me what the 5. Aggregate of form, feeling, discrimination, conscious. Okay, you already got composite factor. How do you get it? What is this? What is it? Okay, you got it, but you explanation is not done. Okay, what is the composite factor? What is the aggregate of composite factors? So there are so many mental functions. Of these, 2 are extremely important. So these 2 are counted as separate aggregates. All the remaining mental factors are put into the one group known as composition, aggregate of compositional factors. And some of you may be wondering why that one is referred to as why the label is given composition factor. Composition factor means impermanent phenomena. Phenomena which are composed of the temporal parts and okay, let's say temporal parts, that's easier. The things which are composed of temporal parts, this is the composite factor. So this label, aggregate of composite factor, means aggregate of composite factors other than the earlier 4 aggregates. It's a short form of aggregate composite factor is a short form of aggregate of composite factors other than the earlier 4 aggregates. Good? Okay. So now we go back to the text. So we're talking about the 5 aggregates. You're getting it? So the opponents are saying that the real enlightenment, the nirvana, is when you let go of the 5 aggregates. When you terminate the 5 aggregates, then the sense of self will be dissolved, and then you are liberated fully. Okay. Verse number 9. If aggregates do not cease, if you still have the aggregates, even though your afflictions are gone, you have abandoned afflictions, and even if the afflictions are extinct, one will not transcend samsara. This is the opponent. Again, reinforcing what he believes. However, when they come to cease, when they meaning the 5 aggregates, when the 5 aggregates cease, meaning when the 5 aggregates terminate, at that instant, one attains freedom. This is the point. This is the opponent's view. Okay, 10. Now, Arya Nagarjuna says, when the perfect gnosis meaning wisdom, when the perfect wisdom of emptiness, when the perfect wisdom sees that things come from the What is that? Ignorance. Okay, I don't know whether my eyes are going wrong or the light is too. I don't know which is. What's the reason? I can't see too properly. Is it my eyes problem or is the light problem? So, okay, it's both. Younger ones see this. Yes. Even this light is also going to go. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, now Arya Nagarjuna. When the perfect gnosis here is the wisdom, not ordinary wisdom, it's a very specialized wisdom. Direct realization of emptiness. The wisdom which directly realizes emptiness. Wisdom which directly realizes emptiness. When the perfect direct realization, the wisdom directly realizes emptiness, and this sees that things come from ignorance as conditions, meaning that they say all these samsara, they come to being by ignorance as the root. With the ignorance, afflictions arise, quantum karmas arise, then the miseries arise. When you see that, nothing will then be objectified. At that point, then your objectification stops. When you see that ignorance, self-grasping ignorance is the one which is creating the afflictions, quantum karmas, and the miseries. When you see that, then you see that self-grasping ignorance is the final culprit. And self-grasping ignorance is ignorance. Ignorance means, okay, let me tell you one thing. Okay, let's say that I have 3 mobiles in my room. This is ignorance or this wisdom? This wisdom. Not wisdom, there's nothing wisdom there. Is it ignorance or this is a knowledge? I have 3 mobiles in my room. Is knowledge or is knowledge or is ignorance? My mind which thinks that I have 3 mobiles in my room.
We have to check.
We have to check. Just say something. What do you think? This is knowledge or this is the word knowledge or ignorance? The mind, my mind, which thinks that I have 3 mobiles in my room. Hey, this is not philosophy. Tell me. Huh? No, raise your hand. I could not. Yes, over there. Ignorance. No, you tell me. So I think that I have 3 mobiles in my room. That's better. Thank you. Rajinder is my angel. Okay, tell me. I have 3 mobiles in my room. This mind, is that ignorance or this is knowledge? Over there. Oh, that's interesting. I have 3 mobiles. Okay, I have 1 rosary in my hand. Is this ignorance or this is knowledge? Okay, I have objectively existent rosary in my hand. Ignorance or knowledge? Ignorance, right? Okay, this is ignorance. I have the objectively existent rosary in my hand. This is ignorance. I have a rosary in my hand. Is knowledge or ignorance? Is knowledge. Likewise, I have 3 mobiles in my room. This thought, I have 3 mobiles in my room, is ignorance or knowledge? How when you say knowledge? In a way you are telling me that I have 3 mobiles in my room, right? I don't have. Right? Okay. Who said is ignorance? Somebody said is ignorance. Yes. He is confident that Geshé may not have 3 mobiles, right? Okay, so this girl said, we have to check. We'll come to your room to check if you have 3 mobiles or not. If you see that there's no 3 mobiles, only 1 mobile, then you'll say that, oh, this is ignorance, right? This is ignorance. So, the point is that when you say that this ignorance means the object as apprehended by this mind is non-existent. You getting it? So when you say self-grasping ignorance is ignorance, you are saying that things do not exist objectively. You getting it? So which means that you have understood the emptiness of objective existence of things. If you know this, then Arya Nagarjuna is saying nothing. Verse number 10, nothing will then be objectified. Because that you know that nothing is objectively, you will stop objectification. You will stop objectifying things, either in terms of arising or ceasing. So destruction, instead of destruction, make it ceasing. Either in terms of arising or ceasing. Okay, meaning that you don't objectify arising as objective real. You don't objectify ceasing as objective real. So arising and ceasing are seen as like a dream. You're getting it? When you see them as dream, then at that point that your afflictions will stop, contaminant karmas will stop, and your miseries will stop. Number 11. Sorry?
First we use disintegration.
Yes, in fact, I've been going through the Tibet very carefully. Same to make sure, number one, to make sure that the meaning is not lost. Number two, that meaning is not just not lost, but also that the meanings of the literal words are not altered too much, not being too flexible, not being too liberal in translation, right? So I've been constantly checking, comparing. There are several words like Gagpa. Gagpa is one. Then the other one is the Shikpa is one. There are several words used there. So if you see what I marked here, those things in the front with the O, big O, that is where we need to change the translation. Right? Change the translation. This is where I made the changes, but if this O is not there, I don't want to take my own liberty to alter the translation of the main translator. You getting it? Okay. So this is better, go for ceasing. Okay. Earlier we said disintegration used, and also that what discontinuation is used. There are several words used in the root text in the Tibetan. In the Tibetan also there are different words used. Yeah. Okay. Verse number 10, either in terms of arising or the ceasing. Number 11, this is transcendence of sorrow. Okay, what? In the experience of emptiness, objectification stops. Yes, are you following me? Okay, in the experience of emptiness, objectification stops. So Arya Nagarjuna taught, nothing will then be objectified. You getting it? Verse number 10, line 3 said, nothing will then be objectified. When you see emptiness, then you will not objectify things. Because of this, when is that state? When the objectification stops. When is that state? Ultimate analysis, conventional analysis. Ultimate analysis. In the ultimate analysis, you experience emptiness, where the objectification stops. Okay, number 11. So where the objectification stops, in that experience, sorrow dissolves. Emptiness, sorrow, miseries, ultimate reality or conventional reality? Is a conventional reality, because it is conventional reality. See, in ultimate analysis will not see the conventional reality. So the misery dissolves in the experience of ultimate analysis. It says, this is transcendence of sorrow in this very life, and one's task is okay. In this very life, and one's task is complete. Meaning that what's the job of somebody who is seeking liberation is when your sorrow stops, that is when your task is complete. Your job is done. Okay. In this very life, and one's task is complete. Okay, in Tibetan, there's a very standard, it's not just Tibetan, in the Sanskrit, in the original sutras, where the Buddha taught that Kyeva Sedo, which means that at that point, when you attain nirvana, it says Kyeva Sedo, that the rebirth, the coming into birth will stop, number one. Samborchobateno. At that point, that your conduct with the conduct of the brahmacharya will be very pure. Conduct will be pure. Chawacheso, your task is completed. Chawacheso. Dile sibashe misheso. Then the next existence, next samsaric existence will be non-existent for you. Okay, these four states, let me repeat it. The first one is the birth ceases, birth stops. Number two, your contact will be that of brahmacharya, which means that conduct will be so pure. Number two. Because all these impure conducts is because of our, say, self-grasping ignorance, self-centered, particular self-grasping ignorance. Then your task is completed. Number three, your task is completed. Task of putting effort to cleanse the mind of the self-grasping ignorance is completed. And finally, the next rebirth, next samsaric existence is the Sivashimishiso. Next samsaric existence will be non-existent. The next samsaric existence will be, next samsaric, what do you say? Next samsaric existence will be non-existent, or the next samsaric, the birth, or no existence, sipa. Next samsaric existence will be non-existent. Okay. So this is the statement. In fact, Arya Nagarjuna bringing these statements which the Buddha in fact taught, and he's explaining them in the context of understanding emptiness. Right? Whereas the opponents would interpret these in ways of terminating your aggregates. But Arya Nagarjuna said, no. Aggregate, number one, we cannot terminate the aggregates. At the most, we can terminate this physical aggregate, but not the mental aggregates we cannot terminate. They will continue endlessly. But we can still interpret what the Buddha taught correctly in ways of going to ultimate analysis to see that your sorrows are transcended. If after the knowledge of truth, if from differentiation occur here, okay, then so these two lines should go in the next. If after the knowledge of truth, differentiations occur here, and even with respect to more subtle things, one impute origination or arising. Origination, you don't delete this, just give an alternate translation, arising, this is better. Such an utterly unskilled person does not see the meaning of conditioned origination. Okay, meaning of conditioned origination, meaning the true meaning. What's the true meaning of conditioned existence? Hey.
Reality. Objective reality. Seeing things as objectively real.
Wow, that's amazing. Seeing this object real after 4 years, 4 days of studies, seeing this object real, right? Seeing things as empty object real.
No, objective conditioned origination is objectively real.
So this morning what we said is that to see the true reality of the flower. What is that? True reality. Conventional reality, true reality. The true reality is the conditioned things. What is the true reality of conditioned things? Emptiness of objective existence, not objective existence. You're getting it? Okay. So now if somebody says that if after the knowledge of truth, you say that you presuppose that you have the knowledge of the ultimate truth, you have knowledge of the ultimate truth, and still the differentiations happen. Differentiations, or this flower, this not flower, this good, this bad, will happen in the ultimate analysis, conventional analysis. Conventional analysis is not too reliable. It's from distance inspection, not the real inspection. So, if you say that somebody has realized the ultimate truth and still the differentiation happens, which means that this is still like the unskilled person. And even with respect to more subtle things, one impute origination, meaning that even with respect to most subtle things like dependent origin and so forth, you talk about arising, dependent arising. Dependent arising is to be seen by ultimate analysis or conventional analysis. Hey, independent origination to be seen by ultimate analysis or conventional analysis. Huh? Okay, there's a split into two. Okay, resents also say conventional analysis, dependent origination, conventional analysis. Resents? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, Kate, tell me how conventional analysis?
We see how things are produced, like we see cause and effect, and this is the conventional reality.
So, effects dependent on the causes, dependent origination. Effects, okay, I planted the seed and the flowers are blossoming now. But dependence on this planting seed, the flowers come into origination. Is conventional truth the ultimate truth? Is seen by ultimate analysis, conventional analysis. And the gardeners here, how many gardeners here? How many gardeners? 2 or 3? What's the answer? 3. So 3 gardeners, do they know that when they plant the seed, then by depends on planting the seed, the flowers originate? Do they know that or not? Do they have, okay, we never know. They can be Buddhas, we never know. But let's say they were just very simple people like us. They never study philosophy, right? So what is the analysis? Conventional analysis, ultimate analysis. So dependent origination falls under the category of the object seen by conventional analysis. How the Kate said, you getting it? So emptiness falls under the category of the ultimate truth seen by the ultimate analysis. Getting it? So even when you go through the subtle nuances of dependent origination, you talk about the very subtle nuances, this subtle dependent origin and so forth, these are all happening on the conventional level, not on the ultimate level. So if you make this differentiation, which means that you are not still in the ultimate analysis. Differentiation occurred here, and even with respect to most subtle things, one imputes origination, one imputes arising. Such an utterly unskilled person, meaning that the person no exposure to ultimate analysis, no exposure to ultimate analysis, does not see the meaning, does not see the true meaning, real meaning, the real meaning of conditioned origination. What's the real meaning of conditioned origination? Emptiness of objective existence of the conditioned things. Okay. 13. If samsara comes to an end for a monk whose afflictions are extinguished, why have the perfect awakened Buddhas not explained that samsara has begun? Okay, this got a little bit of explanation. Let's say that a practitioner practicing meditation, and then let's say that afflictions stop, contaminant karmas stop, and the miseries stop for the practitioner. In those days, mostly the monastics, monks, nuns, they do that. Then let's say that the opponents, for them, they don't believe in the emptiness of objective existence, particularly Vaibhashika. Of the 4 schools, Arya Nagarjuna accepts which philosophy of the 4? Madhyamaka, the highest, the 4th one, right? Say, particularly those people who follow the Vaibhashika philosophy, the first one, right? They don't believe in the emptiness of objective existence. For them, existence means objective existence. If something does not exist objectively, it should not exist. If something exists, should it exist objectively? You're getting it? So again, particularly the young ones who are hearing this for the first time, you see that there are many things to be studied, right? There are many things to be studied, and this will broaden our mind in terms of the knowledge. Okay. So for them, the same, for them, When you say afflictions are removed, means objectively existent afflictions are gone. If you have afflictions, you have the objectively existent afflictions. You got it? What did I say? Yes. According to Vaibhashika. Good, very good, thank you. Okay, so for them, now, if you are the followers of Arya Nagarjuna, and if I'm the follower of Vaibhashika, so what I will say is that, okay, I have the afflictions, which means I have objectively exists afflictions, yes, but you will not agree with me. Nothing exists objectively, but I would say the opposite. I said, yes, afflictive obscurations. And then gradually we see that, okay, let's say, let's say Sally, right? Sally is meditating, and now her afflictions are gone. Now objectively existing afflictions are gone, right? According to me, according to you, no, dream-like afflictions is gone for you. You getting it? So this is the discrepancy in the positions of what constitutes afflictions, what constitutes nirvana between Arya Nagarjuna and the Vaibhashikas. You getting it? Okay. So we're in 13. Okay. Say, it says 13, if samsara comes to an end for a monk whose afflictions are extinguished, right? Say you exterminate afflictions and then samsara comes to an end. Then the Arya Nagarjuna, this question by Arya Nagarjuna, why have the perfectly awakened Buddhas? Why the Buddhas? They did not explain that samsara has beginning. Samsara is beginning or no beginning? Samsara is beginning or no beginning? No beginning. Samsara is end or not? Huh? If no end, why are we here? For chilling out. Right? Why are we here? Right? There are so many ways of chilling out. It's not, we don't study this complicated text, right? Mike, tell me, samsara is end or not? Huh? Okay, Mike is very positive. Thank you. Some say no end. Why did you come? To chill out. Right? Okay. So, samsara is end or not? Bodhisattva Arideva gave the response in 400 verses. His text referred to as 400 verses. There, what Bodhisattva Arideva said is that samsara has no beginning. But whether or not the samsara end, Arya Nagarjuna said, those who put the correct effort, their samsara has end. Those who do not put correct effort, their samsara will not have end. It will go endlessly. So which means it is in your hand, in our hands. Yes? If you put the correct effort, then your samsara can come to an end. If you don't put a correct effort, no matter what you do, samsara will continue. Right? One time there was a professor and his wife. Of course, they are not into philosophy. They are not exposed to these teachings. And the professor, he asked me to. He said, "Geshé, come to my house." Right? Come to my house. And I said, "No, I've already booked my room here." He said, no, Geshé, come to my house. A very senior professor. And I said, no, he was insisting. And then finally I gave up. Then I said, okay, I'll come. And after the program, then I was into his car and he was driving. And then I said, okay, now professor, you have to call your wife that I'm with you. I said, yeah, okay. Somebody closer to us, the house, I will call. He did not call. Then we drove, and then in the middle of the road, again I reminded him. Then he called. Dorji is with us, with me. And then drove there. Reaching the house, the wife was standing at the main door, like a policeman, like this. Right? Like this. This is not her style. But that time she stands like this, like a policeman. And the professor, we got off the car, and the professor was pushing me in the front. I said, "What happened?" "No, you are my host. Host, you showed me the way." And he is pushing me in the front. Right? Then I went with him. I went in front of him. Right? And I said, "Good evening." I called her by her name. And she said, "Good evening." And she said, "Good evening, Dorji." This is not her style. "Good evening, Dorji," like this. And then I went in. Then the professor was following me. Very senior professor. And then we got in. And then just during the conversation, I'll always call him as Professor. Okay, let's say Professor A. His name is A. Professor A. Professor A.G. Suddenly the wife blasted, "Dorji, he does not deserve G." Right? Then I realized why the professor was forcing me to come, come to his house. And then he was pushing me to go in front of me. Okay. Then after a while, we were sitting on the same table for discussion. Not for discussion, just casual discussion, casual talk. And then they were extremely, both of them extremely compassionate. Sometimes they behave like small children. Very senior professor, compassion-wise, extremely compassionate both. And they were taking care of, stray dogs. Like at home, there are about, I think, 20 or 30 stray dogs. And outside, there are 70 dogs they're feeding. Stray dogs. Stray every day. And then the wife was saying that, "Oh, what will happen to these dogs when I die?" Then I said that we have to pray that we come back to really again be safe, be there for the voiceless, the creatures, voiceless dogs. She said, "I'll not come back to samsara. Samsara is very complicated." Right? So, look, what I'm saying is that it is not just sufficient to say that I'll not come back to samsara. If you don't want to come back to samsara, you have to know how to stop samsara. Otherwise, samsara will continue. It'll never stop. Even if you don't want, it will. You will have to. This will perpetuate. So, you have to know how to stop it. How to stop this? By resorting to the correct wisdom, correct effort. So this word Bodhisattva Aryadeva said, with those who can employ the correct effort, for them the samsara has end. For those who do not resort to the effort, there's no end to samsara. This is the response that he gave. Okay, good. Which verse are we reading now? 13. Okay, look. Now the thing is that if things do exist objectively, as opponents say, that the objectively existent afflictions, objectively existent karmic karmas and so forth, if things do exist objectively, what's the problem? Then there are two options. Either your samsara, if samsara exists objectively, either the samsara should have beginning or no beginning. You getting it? These are two only options. Yes, no. Samsara exists. Both sides accept. Arya Nagarjuna accept, and the opponents also accept. Samsara exists. If samsara exists, does it have beginning or not? What is your standpoint? No? It is the beginning. So there are only options. There are only two options. Either samsara does, if you accept samsara exists, then samsara should either have beginning or no beginning. You agree? Okay. Now, that no beginning can be explained only if you explain dependent origination. Yes? Today's samsara is because of yesterday's samsara. Yesterday's samsara is because 2 days ago's samsara. This life samsara is because of the earlier life samsara. You go back and it becomes, you can track back ad infinitum, right? You can track back ad infinitum. But this is, the beginninglessness can be explained by the dependent origination. By the dependent of previous causes, the results come to existence. So in the causes you can track back ad infinitum. Because of this, there's no beginning. If you believe in samsara to have, not to be objectively real, then you should accept them to be independently real. Independent is the opposite of dependent. If it's dependent, then it should have beginning, because beginninglessness is only dependent. So, whereas for independent, there should be some beginning. If the beginning is there, then the Buddha should have taught beginning of the samsara, but the Buddha taught that there is no beginning to samsara. Okay. If the 13, if samsara comes to an end for a monk whose afflictions are extinguished, this is the rejection by Arya Nagarjuna against the advocates of objectively existent samsara. Why have the perfectly awakened Buddhas not explained that samsara has beginning? Okay, 14. If they were a beginning, then certainly they too would be clinging to the, to the form of dogmas. Okay. Then if you say that there's a beginning, again there's a contradiction. If you say that there's a beginning, there's a contradiction. What's the contradiction? Beginning, which means that at the beginning somebody created this. At the beginning somebody created this. Which means that again you fall into some dogma, which is illogical dogmas, which contradicts with the logic. If they were a beginning, then certainly they too would be clinging in the form of dogmas. Okay, like, so they say, what is the cause of this? Somebody created it, or that no, it came just randomly. Randomly meaning causeless production. You have to accept causeless production. Causeless production possible? Not possible. Causeless production possible? Not possible. Resents. Causeless production is not possible. Okay, what makes you think that causeless production is not possible? Anyone? What makes you think that causeless production is not possible? Pinzola?
Because the fundamental nature of this pure concept existed. It's dependent.
So?
So they should be dependent. They should be otherwise.
Okay. This is beautifully explained. Thank you. Anyone else would like to add? Oh, yeah, Jikasanla.
Anything can arise from anywhere.
If there's a causeless production, right? Causeless production. So why not causeless production is happening now? Anything should happen, arise from anything, at any time, at any place, right? But this is not what's happening, right? So some of the people who are sitting for the UPSC exam, what is UPSC exam? Huh? Okay, it seems like you are preparing for this? Yeah, I can see it from your face, right? So look, don't mention this word, UPSC exam, right? Instantly the unpleasant feeling will be triggered. Right? Okay, so they say, we can imagine, okay, how I wish that there's random production, causeless production possible, so that atmosphere, for example, tomorrow I wake up, oh, you pass the UPS exam, right? Causeless production, right? If you don't understand this, you have to ask this Tsongenzela, right? If it happens, you'll be very happy. Yes. Okay, Jimela, you're preparing for same exam? Any other exam you're preparing? No, lucky. Okay. Huh? Okay. Okay, so older do not have to sit for exams. Okay, so still you cannot apply for the exams anymore. You can. You don't want to. Okay. Okay, good. So what about you thinking that, right? They say, okay, without having to study all these things, I understand. The next morning I get up and I understand everything is empty of objective existence. You want that? If there's a possibility. Huh? Or next day you become Buddha? Maybe. If possible. Thank you. Okay, good. Okay, so this says causes production. Causes production contradicts the logic, right? Okay, so it says that which is dependent originated, how can they be its beginning or end? Meaning that, okay, now look, this is taking us to different positions. One is that, say, by understanding dependent origination, you will see the emptiness of objective existence. If you see the emptiness of objective, how do you see the emptiness of objective existence? With ultimate analysis. In the ultimate analysis, beginning and end dissolves. You getting it? Yes? In the ultimate analysis, beginning and end, all these concepts, beginning, end. Somebody said duality this morning. Huh? Somebody said duality. Okay, who said? Yes, the duality, right? Beginning, end, good, bad, and so forth. All these concepts will dissolve in the experience of the ultimate analysis. Emptiness, when subject to ultimate analysis. So their beginning and they all dissolve. There's no objectively beginning, there's no objectively end. Okay. That which dependent originated, how can they be its beginning or end? For them, the opponents, if something is beginning, there should be objectively existing beginning. If there's an end, there should be objectively existing end. So whereas in the ultimate analysis, these two will not hold true. 15. That which has arisen before, how can it cease again later on? Okay. Devoid of the limits of beginning and end, the world appears like an illusion. Okay. So is there anybody who can explain this? That which has arisen before, how can it cease again later on? Meaning that which has arisen before means same that which has objectively existed. So the opponents would say that these say afflictions, they arise and later on they're stopped when you attain nirvana. Yes, you agree? So earlier we have the afflictions, they arose, and then when you practice meditation, wisdom of emptiness, or whatever you call it, say the common language for Arya Nagarjuna and the Vaibhashika, which helps you to attain nirvana, is the wisdom of selflessness. Wisdom of selflessness is the label, is the wisdom which is commonly accepted by the both traditions. But if you ask what is selflessness, then the two traditions differ in subtlety. The selflessness identified by the Vaibhashika is very gross in comparison with the selflessness identified by Arya Nagarjuna. You getting it? Let me repeat it. What is the common wisdom? What is the label of the wisdom which is commonly being accepted by the two traditions, Arya Nagarjuna and the Vaibhashika? The wisdom of selflessness. Good, wisdom of selflessness. And if that is the case, my question to you is then why two of them are debating? Why? It's the same wisdom of selflessness, which helps you attain nirvana. Why they're debating? Anyone? Yes, Sherry Bema. Because although they give the same label, the wisdom of selflessness, but what is selflessness? What constitutes selflessness? What is selflessness? Then the sides, two parties, they differ in the explanation. Right? How do they differ? How way? Say the selflessness as explained by Vaibhashika is much grosser in comparison with the selflessness explained by Arya Nagarjuna. So Arya Nagarjuna understanding of selflessness is selflessness in the form of, okay, there are 5 levels of emptiness. We did it, we did not do it. Huh? I think last year. No? Huh? Mike, did we do that? Right? Okay. The Micah, we did it. The 5 levels. What are they? No, you can flip through the pages. You can flip through if you have no reason. You did not.
I was writing something. Sorry, my mind was writing something else.
Okay, continue. My question is, you want to listen to my question or want to write?
I want to try to answer.
Right. No, you cannot do both. Right. Okay. Oh, I will ask Myung. What are the 5 levels of selflessness? Good. Very good. Very good. I think maybe Myung, you have to say a little louder. 4th one.
Selflessness of true existence while not rejecting intrinsic reality.
Very good.
Fifth is selflessness of objective existence.
Very good. Okay. Of the 5, when Arya Nagarjuna said the wisdom of the selflessness, he meant the 5th one, wisdom of selflessness of objective existence. Whereas the Vaibhajikas, when they say selflessness, wisdom of selflessness, they mean the 2nd one. What is the 2nd one? The wisdom of selflessness of autonomous substantial reality. This is different. And these 5, they differ starkly in subtlety. Right, let me repeat it. Arya Nagarjuna, when Arya Nagarjuna says the wisdom of selflessness, Arya Nagarjuna is referring to the 5th wisdom of selflessness of objective existence. Whereas the Vaibhashika, when they are saying the wisdom of selflessness, they refer to the wisdom of selflessness of the 2nd one, wisdom of selflessness of autonomous substantial reality. And these two levels of selflessness, they differ starkly in subtlety. The one explained by Bhajka is extremely gross in comparison with what is explained by Arya Nagarjuna, which is very subtle. Okay, good. Now, let's continue. That which has arisen before, if no opponents would say that things exist objectively. Right? Arya Nagarjuna said that things don't exist objectively. Opponents will say that things exist objectively. Then the question is, if things exist objectively, so this they say, if that which has arisen before, that which has objectively arisen before, how can it cease again later on? So you are the follower Arya Nagarjuna, you tell me how to explain this. If I say that these afflictions objectively arose before, and then later on it ceases. But Arya Nagarjuna said that is impossible. If afflictions arose before, it cannot stop. It cannot cease at the later stage. It should forever remain. Yes, Kisanla.
If it has arisen objectively,
Yes.
then it will be independent and permanent, so it cannot cease, it cannot change.
Why not?
Because it's from the up, it's objective.
So what's the problem? If it's objective there, why can it not? Huh?
Constant conditions won't change it.
So dependent origination will not operate. If the dependent origination will not operate, nothing but dependence on the nothing. There's no change happening, no matter what factors you bring in to bring a change, because that it is independent of any other factors. So therefore, if it's independent, nothing can bring change to this. So it should, if it exists, it should exist forever. If it is non-existent, it should remain as non-existent forever, right? Okay. 15. That which is arisen before, that which is objectively arisen before, if you accept that objective arising, how can it cease again later on? So from this, one can see that, but we do see that things arise and things stop, which means, which means that dependent origination is operating, which means they're not independent, which means they're not objective. If not objective, what mind sees the emptiness of objective existence? Ultimate analysis. In the eyes of ultimate analysis, devoid of the limits of beginning and end. In the eyes of ultimate analysis, beginning and end is devoid. The world appears like an illusion. So objectively they don't exist, but still the world exists. How? Hey, world does not exist objectively, still they appear to exist. But still they exist. How do they exist? They exist subjectively or conventionally, right? So they appear as object real, but they don't exist as object real. There's a discrepancy between appearance and reality. Where there's a discrepancy of appearance and reality is known as illusion-like, right? Okay, so if you put similar effort in your UPSC, you'll pass. You'll crack the exam. Your interest is amazing. Your attention is amazing. Congratulations. Okay. So it says that the world appears like an illusion. You're getting it? Because there's a discrepancy between appearance and reality. How? What is the discrepancy between appearance and reality of the world? Yes, Sherry Pema. Say it again. They appear, on the appearance level, the world appears objectively real. Then, the true nature in reality or true nature, it is empty of objective reality. So therefore there's a discrepancy there. Appearance-wise, it appears objectively real. The reality, empty of objective reality. There's a discrepancy there. So where there's a discrepancy, it is referred to as illusion-like. So therefore it says the world appears like an illusion. You're getting it? Like an illusion. But in some of the texts, you see that world is illusion. If it is said there, then keep in mind that this is just a short form of illusion-like. Okay. Okay, I'm just wondering. Okay, it's time up, right? Okay. Let's say before we stop here, I'd like to pose two questions. Number one, how many of you have seen flowers or vegetables or trees growing? Raise hands. How many have seen? How many have never seen trees growing, flowers growing? How many have never seen like this? You've seen. All of us, we have seen. Okay. Which means that, okay, tell me, before I ask the question, I must make it very clear. What did you see? Huh? What did you see? I said that, have you ever seen trees growing, flowers growing? And you said yes, that you have seen something. What is that thing that you have seen, Dumala? Change in the physical appearance. What is that known as? Production. Okay, growth, production, right? Okay, how many have seen production, act of production, raise hands? Hey, raise hands. Right? Okay, good. Now my question is, the act of production, does it exist or not? Hey, louder. Act of production, which you said you have seen, does it exist or not? Huh? So Indrajit does not exist because she's a form of production. Production doesn't exist, right? Okay. So, act of production, does it exist or not? Louder. Good. Don't reduce your volume. The next. Act of production, or let's say act of production of, say, a flower. Say, initially it was in the form of a seed. Then from the seed moves to the sprout. Okay, seed and sprout. Act of production of the sprout. Act of production of sprout. This act of production, where does it exist? At the time of seed or at the time of sprout? Or in between? Huh? Hey, tell me. What happened? Act of production, which you said, I've seen it. It exists. Where does it exist? Does it exist at the time of seed, at the time of sprout, or in between seed and sprout? First, yes, Kunal.
When you sow the seed, like it's the act of production.
No, I've given three options: seed, sprout, in between. Okay, in between means seed and sprout, they are separated by a gap. So the seed does not continue to a sprout. There's gap in between. Right? Continuation means there's no gap. There's no in between. Okay, tell me, when's the production? Hey, what happened? At the time of seed. At the time of seed, without a sprout, how can I say that sprout is the act of production is happening? Seed is seed. Right? So when is the act of the production happening? I should ask Dumala. Dumala is the one who said that at the time of sprout. At that time of sprout already arisen. It's already produced. When already produced was for example, they said that, okay, Dumala, right? You want to come to retreat. You're already here in the retreat now. Then I tell you that, Dumala, don't worry, I'll help you. I'll help you to get to retreat. Does it make sense or not? No, I'm already here. Why what are you saying? I'm already here. You don't need to help me, right? Help me means I'm not here. So production, sprout is already there. Then what's the need of production of the sprout? So where is the act of production? At the time of seed, at the time of sprout, or in between? Huh? Yes? At the time of seed. At the time of seed means, at the time of sprout is not there. So sprout is not produced. Sprout not produced. So actual production is not happening. So what I'm saying, actual production, when does it exist? At the time of seed? No, this is my question. Actual production, is it in the seed? Actual production of the sprout, is it at the time of the seed? Without the sprout, we cannot talk about the act of production of sprout. With the sprout, it's already produced. What's the point of the production? Right? Okay. So, think about this. Think about this. Wow. Ikshita is really deep into philosophy, right? Wow. Okay. Okay. So when I was like 20 or 21 years old, I read a book on the Heart Sutra explanation, and this question was asked. Wow. There was incredible deep feeling of loss, confusion, and the feeling of what the vacuum, uneasiness come in my mind. Huh?
Very stupid when you.
So this question is asked, I couldn't give the answer. And in a way, it was a big disturbance, mentally so disturbed. Where is it? I can't even posit the act of production. At some seed, at some sprout, and there's no time in between, right? So the either seed or before, or sprout or after, That's it. And no way can we see that. And this feeling, heaviness, came to my mind. Okay, so this is, if it does come to you, if the feeling of heaviness comes to you, this is the indication of clash between our belief in production of objective real and our understanding that it is empty of objective production. There's a clash happening. This clash is manifested in the form of friction in your mind, in the form of heaviness. So the thing is that you are slowly discovering that there's no objective production. Production is there, just conventionally it is there. But if you explore like this, then you are exploring you're going to ultimate analysis. With ultimate analysis, production cannot be seen. Okay, so we'll stop here. I will stop here with the dedication prayer, page 52. I dedicate the marriage thus gathered to twisted realization that is in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas those 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect way in the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast the space that I've amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the shield-rating Buddha for all those whose minds with minds planted of ignorance. Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata. 3 prostrations together.